Hey, welcome back to the channel, Mama Bears, Homestead, and more. Today's super excited because I had a big old long list of things I wanted to do today, and I done about the first 3, and then all of a sudden REMC pulls up with their chip truck. Hey, where you want these at? Awesome. I talked to them about 2 months ago about getting some wood chips if they was ever out this way, and it's like, yeah, we'll get you some. They never brung none of that, and I'm like, them guys, they fibbed to me. They didn't fib to me, they just didn't want to bring them that day. But yeah, they bring us a nice little pile. Come check it out. And then also, look at my ground cover here. This, we're gonna mulch all this in so we don't fight the weeds around the rabbit hutches and don't have to weed eat around the rabbit hutches. Rabbits don't like weed eaters for some reason. But a little bit, I see her nesting box got taken out, and she's got a cage full of little muck runners in there.
Yeah, all her babies got out of the nesting box and decided they wanted to pile into a corner beside the nesting box, and they did that for a couple of days. So I said, well, shoot, if you aren't going to use it, it's just taking up cage space. So I took it out, and they've been great. It's probably driving a little bit crazy, but we got a bigger comfort board in there.
That's a nice little bunny rabbit there.
We got, I don't know if I've ever mentioned the comfort boards before, but if you've ever looked and seen and wondered why we have the wood in here, I mean, they will chew on it, but really it's just to give them a spot that they can lay to get off the wire. So
their feet ain't constantly on wire.
Yeah, and you know, you'd think that they might want to be on there constantly, but they're really not. They'll hop on there and take a little break, whatever, but look at her. She's such a good mom.
Her's a good rabbit.
She is.
She's mean, but she's a good rabbit.
Well, she's protective.
A little bit. And then, you know, we have 100 and some rabbits, I don't know. But now they let me have 1 rabbit. Her name's Butters. Butters is my rabbit. Hi, Butter, baby. Yeah?
And her babies, they'll hop out of the box and explore a little bit, but for the most part, they still like to stay cuddled in there. So that's why her box is still in here and Little Bits isn't. I kind of let the babies dictate when the box comes out. So she's a good mama. Let's show them our wood chips.
Yeah. Set off. Big old pile of wood chips. And so we'll get the pitchfork, manure fork out, and the 2 tired wheelbarrow. Maybe get that other wheelbarrow cart out and start hauling it over there and dumping it and spreading it out. Like to get it about 2 to 3 inches deep. It's just, and this would, and these are fresh ground wood chips, so you would not want to put these in your garden, or they need to set in compost first if you're going to do that with them. But since we're just going to use them for cover, we can go ahead and use them. And then next year, if we get another load of wood chips, I can scrape. And that's the great thing about the ground cover, is I can take a rake and rake all them wood chips have been there for a year, rake all them up, put them in the gardens or raised beds or wherever, and then put new down there. It's just a good way to be able to use this without having to wait a year to be able to use it in the growing beds. So, yep, that's what we like to do here at our homestead. And stick around and hang out and watch us get to sweating. Hi, Blue. Where's my egg?
It's right there.
Oh, good job, Blue.
She likes to move her food dish out.
Yeah, solid for that.
Look at all that bitter dock.
Yeah,
Wow.
That is a rabbit. That would be like, oh my gosh, there's lizards everywhere. And you know what a lizard is? It's just a four-wheel drive snake. But that right there would be like Roost Crisp to us people. That's what that is to the rabbits. I happen to not stick my hand in there.
Watch out!
Not funny.
Kind of funny.
Not funny.
What do y'all think? Was it funny?
I found my silage fork. This thing is the best for mulch. And we got rabbit snaps. Well, hold on, Peggy. Good stuff, ain't it? I see a little white baby in there. You know anything about that?
Don't push it in all the way.
Hey, crazy Linda, come here. She's like, no chance.
See that pretty nest she built?
Yeah, that is a very nice nest.
And she likes to sit behind the nesting box. I've tried to push that back so many times and she just wiggles her way back there, and that's her safe spot, I suppose. Oh.
You getting your little belly full? Your little belly full?
No, thanks to you.
Go attack her now. You got her occupied.
Look at those faces. Oh my goodness.
That's what it is. Well, I found all my tools that I needed for this project. Wheelbarrow, silage fork, mulch pile, where it goes. And we played with the bunnies enough. It's time to get after it. I've tried to mentally make this mulch pile get over there, but it ain't gonna do that, I don't think. So, yeah, it's time to get sweaty.
All right, I think our plan of action here is going to be Papa Bear is going to continue wheelbarrowing the wood chips over here, and then I'm going to start spreading them out a little bit. So we're going to kind of tag team it, and hopefully it'll go a little bit quicker that way, and that way hopefully we won't be tripping over each other if we're both trying to get the wood chips over here at the same time. So we'll see how it goes. About the thickness of it. And then I know we're just focusing on the pad today. Are you wanting to end up using the ground cover like behind the grow out pin there? And
I would like to, yeah, but I don't know when. But
that'd be, since that ground cover we just got is thinner, not as wide, that'd probably be the perfect size for that when we do get around to it. That's why I kind of thought that maybe you meant to order that size.
But yeah, eventually let's have all that ground out already. Ever played with wood chips like that? They're still hot, and you know, I got my official Homestead work boots on, dudes. You can homestead in dudes. It's not very good on your dudes, I can tell you that, because I've went through like 3 pairs already. But yeah, that's heating my feet up. Pretty hot stuff. But like I mentioned earlier, I ain't worried about being hot because I'm not using it to grow things. So we're gonna let it spread it out here. And,
you can see the steam. I don't know how well you can see it on the video. If you can see it at all, but from where I was standing, you can kind of see the steam still coming off the top. I don't know if y'all can see it at all, but yeah, they're hot. Do you know what kind of wood chips they are? They smell good.
It's mostly hardwoods. I've seen a little bit of pine in there. I don't like that, but he said most of it was oak. So with a tree crew, you get whatever they're cutting. Hey, they're not going to tell you it's got walnut in it, I promise you that.
But you know what? Free 99.
Yeah.
That's the kind that we like.
And it's funny because I just talked to my uncle this week about getting his dump truck a couple towns over, Crothersville, Indiana. They got a mulch plant there. And I was like, he don't have a tarp for his truck. So I'm like, man, I hate to haul that and blow half of it out on the way home. And just so happened they delivered me a load today. So I don't know if that'll be enough to do this whole pad or not, but it'll be real close. It'll
be at least enough to get all the creases covered, because that's one thing. We've had the ground cover down for a few days now, maybe about a week, and when I tell you my feet are gonna find every loose fold or every crease to trip over, I'm not exaggerating. Mom Bears almost went down a time or two, but I guess it's time to get back to work, y'all. Done, you know.
That's starting to shape up pretty nice right there. I wish I knew how many wheelbarrow loads we'd put in here, but I'd forgotten. But one thing I will have to say is it's awesome to have a partner in crime here, because I was loading the wheelbarrow, bringing it over and dumping it, and she spread it out, and she was doing the videoing, and now we switched, so I'm videoing, and then I'm gonna spread out when she gets me enough over here. And yeah, here's Mama Bear pitchforking.
Y'all, my favorite color's black. You're gonna see me in black a lot, especially during the winter. You overheat very easily in the warmer weather in black clothes, so I had to do a little swap. But yeah, I figure, you know, give Papa Bear a break, let him do some of the raking, make sure it's getting to the thickness he's wanting, and I'll scoop this up. I've mentioned that I've had issues with the shoulder and arm, but if I'm holding the pitchfork where this arm's doing most of the work, I can still contribute fully. So it's all about, like Papa Bear likes to say, adapt, overcome, compensate, overcome.
Adapt, overcome, and compensate.
Yes. And ultimately succeed.
And succeed. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that my Sammy has a YouTube channel. I don't think he does, but he's got TikTok. And his name's Sammy Abdabari, or Sammy the Bull. But in honor of Sammy, he's a veteran. Really good friend of mine. But what I don't know if it's Siri or one of them coffee pot things that talk to you, fancy things. But every morning it tells Sammy to wake up, grab the world by the you know what, and smash skulls. So yeah, that's what I like to say, or that's what I like to think we're doing right here. Big mulch pile. We both had hot clothes on. We've both changed clothes.
Replenished on our water.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated, friends.
Yeah, dehydration's serious, so you don't want to get into that mess. But as you can tell, I haven't weed eated that yet. May not, who knows. But I mean, that's good. good rabbit food. And I can bring my side over here and chop that down. That's Timothy hay right there. Some wildflowers, dandelions, a beautiful tractor. Her name's Callie Alley. She might get hooked up here after a while to my top secret new thing I got, and I'll be doing some videos on it. But yeah, it looks like I better get my butt in gear because Mama Bear's catching me pretty quick. So I'm gonna set you guys down and get after it.
I didn't know if, because that over there is not tight, so I didn't know if you wanted me to start putting any over there or if you wanted to.
Let me get pulled out.
Yeah. Still tripping on stuff.
Hey, what's up, guys? Look at this. Well, I've got it all covered. I got a big high spot right here, but I ain't spread it out yet. But I think this right here will cover all the way down behind Callie Alley. Eventually, I'm gonna have to move Callie Alley because she's in the way. But this little project used all my ground cover that I had. The ground cover I had was 8 foot by, I forget, 500 feet. I mean, I've used this. It's here, the mum pad, up around the house in places, the grocery store. That's all got this ground cover under it. And it's not perfect to keep weeds out, but it sure cuts them down a lot. It makes it real easy to pull them too. Pull the weeds. But Natalie and I ordered another roll. And it came today. So Natalie and I just seen where we could use another strip. We're gonna have it mulched from this corner here all the way up to them irises. We're gonna have ground cover and mulch down.
Yeah, the ground cover right now ends right here. And since the roll that he ordered was a little bit smaller than he anticipated, it's not as wide, we'll shoot it all the way up, and it'll come on the other side of this raised bed all the way up to the sidewalk here. So all this section right here that gets really annoying to weed eat and mow, especially because a lot of times it'll kick the shavings off into our beds,
yeah.
We'll get rid of that issue.
A lot of good benefits to blacken this out. And sorry guys, I'm calling it mulch, but it's not mulch, it's wood chips. Mulch, in order to get mulch, it's got to be composted. This ain't been composted, this is fresh, so it wouldn't be mulch, it'd be wood chips. But anyway, that's me being technical, and I don't have to be, but occasionally I like to be. You never know about me. But yeah, I'm super pumped. So in theory, we're gonna have mulch walkway all the way down to that far corner, and eventually that whole area is gonna be full of rabbit hutches. And
we need to get a thicker layer of wood chips mulch in the grocery store. As you can tell, it's,
yeah, they've decomposed.
But so hopefully our next load we can really use to fill it. I mean, we might be able to use some of what we have left to fill in there, but whew, rabbit, brain fart, sorry. Mama Bear is getting whooped, but the work's got to continue, right? Papa Bear, I think, is ready to lay down the ground cover.
Yeah. And I thought when I took it out of the box, I was like, you know what? They sold me a 2 foot wide roll of ground cover. No, it's doubled. So I'm gonna unroll it and we'll fold it out, and it's gonna be awesome because it's gonna be wider than I thought it was, and it just means it'll be wider for us to use. So All right, Mama Baby, well, watch out.
Oh dear.
I guess it's the only good thing about living on a hillside.
Woo!
And it did not go up like I wanted. But I'm used to that. Mama Baby, you want to trade me ends? Stand on that so I don't pull it fast.
No, I reckon I can do that. Well, don't you want it right up to the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Another thing to keep in mind on these warmer days, and it's really not that warm today. I think the high today was only 70, but
Humidity's there though.
on these, yeah, it's humid. On these warmer days, if you're working outside, if you're not used to working outside and you get out here and you start getting thirsty and want to start chugging that water, you keep in mind, you know, slow sips, slow, small sips. Drink too much, get overheated, it's going to come right back up.
Stay. And they sell, they're called ground pins, but I've used them. I don't like them.
They end up usually working themselves back up.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit, they're great to trip over.
Yeah. So we've kind of steered away from the ground pins and just let it lay. Cover it up when, or put something on it, like, you know, like mulch, and we don't really have much trouble with it. I mean, like this piece here, I laid it down, and I was out of wood chips at the time, and I didn't have no wood chips to put on it, but I mean, I got sand from the potato tires last year, and I mean, this stuff's awesome. I love it. Ground cover is awesome. But yeah, we'll get this covered up, and I'll probably cut me a little piece to as you can see, we have nothing here straight, but that's fine. We don't need it.
It's kind of like how we have very little flat land.
Yeah,
we have very little straight.
But yeah, we'll get this all. I'll cut that out. We'll try pie out and get some put in there, and we're gonna start covering this up. This is gonna be awesome, guys. Super stoked.
And this down here is almost done. I moved Callie Alley, so I just have a little bit in the corner down there to do, and then we'll get this covered up, and then we'll go back and make sure the thickness is how we want it and everything. And then I'll probably get some over here to cover up all these weeds. There is ground cover under that, but
yeah,
Charlie's just. And I don't mind the creeping Charlie and the purple dead nettle. I think that it actually looks kind of cool in here lining some things, but it's time for it to go.
Yep.
Well, we've switched out tasks again. I got most of it covered, but my arm is starting to do some protesting, and it's really important to listen to your body when you're doing yard work outside. I mean, the average person can push themselves a lot farther than they think they can, but if you genuinely are having physical pain, not just muscle soreness, but actual pain. It's really important to listen to your body, and you know, it's not going to do me or Papa Bear any good for me to pull a muscle or to, you know, hurt myself in a way that I can't do any lifting around here. So I'm going to go back to spreading while he does some shoveling. But we don't have too much more to do. You can see we've made our way through the majority of this pile. We'll have to get a rake and rake up all the loose wood chips close to the ground. There's a lot more there that we can use. But this is all covered. Pretty good thickness. There's a couple areas right up here that are still a little light, but we've started covering this in. So yeah, and it's awesome. You know, a lot of what we do around here, especially since, you know, we don't take money out for anything, we just do it as we can, cash flow it. You know, a lot of times we just piecework stuff together, and it's nice when you can get like a load of wood chips like this for free. You know, not only does it help us with what we were wanting to do, but it also goes a long way for the curb appeal of, you know, the rabbit area and the grocery store and everything. And on a day-to-day basis, let's face it, how our ground looks in terms of ground cover, you know, wood chips, whatever, that's not going to affect how our produce tastes. So looks are never going to be our main priority, but it is nice when you can do something to help out the looks of the place.
And
so
you know, this just ain't for looks too. Last winter it was a mud trail in front of around all the hutches. You know, you walk on it every day, multiple times a day, so that's a lot of foot traffic. So we was beating the mud through. Hopefully this year we won't have to fight mud with it being on the wood chips. The water should go through and go out, get away, not stand there and pile. So that's what my biggest thing I was after, is to try to get rid of the mud for the winter time, because nobody likes to tromp through mud every day doing your chores. So and you know, like Natalie said, it does look nice. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice when you can do a project that not only is gonna
has multiple benefits.
Yeah, multiple benefits. Nice to look at, and I mean, it's practical. It's where there's a reason behind it other than just looks.
Yeah.
So, and that's a big thing for us. You're never really gonna see us spending money on something just to make it look better. Right. I mean, it's going to be very, very rare. If we do that, it's going to be something we've gotten for free or extremely cheap. That's not what we go for. Yeah. We go for practicality and use. So.
Flexibility.
But
yeah, this is awesome. This is going to come into it. But yeah, I better get the haul mulch back. Mom better whip me if I don't. She's a slave driver, y'all. You think she's just cheap? Yeah. Slave driver. Hey guys, check this out. From the sidewalk, you can come from the sidewalk to my awesome little birdhouse gourd I got put up the other day. But anyway, come through the arch. That arch is gonna have loofahs in it, I hope. But I think I'm gonna try to grow me some loofahs in them. I got another one of them concrete planter things right there. I'm gonna plant my loofahs in that and then try to get it to climb over the arch. I think that'd be super cool. But anyway, that was not the project today. This was. Natalie and I took names, kicked butts, and got this knocked out. And that's the funny part about it. You know, God's got ways of making things work, because I had no idea these wood chips were coming today. And like I said earlier, I had a list about this long to do today, and I got about that much, and then the wood chip showed up. So it was adapt, overcome, and compensate. So we compensated on knocking this big project out. And look at it, guys. It's just awesome. It's just how I wanted it to look. But yeah, we're not gonna have mud like this right here. Last year was nothing but mud, and then all front end. Or I don't know. Were these here last winter?
No.
No. Okay.
Yes.
The love shack was.
The love shack was. I don't remember when we got the dough hutch over here.
I'm not real sure either. A little bit. Do you remember when you got moved in there? But yeah, thank you guys for watching and the support, the love. It's been absolutely amazing. You know, I had a dream of doing this, and we're doing it, but I never dreamed it would go this far, this fast. Can't thank you guys enough, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at in the whole YouTube trading content and stuff. And it's been an absolute blast. And I think I've said this before, but the reason I like it is it holds me accountable. You know, if I want to shoot these videos, you know, I gotta get off my butt and do it. And it ain't like we're making up content to shoot for YouTube. This is stuff we need to do every day. Natalie just kills it every day. Unfortunately, you know, I still work in town. But hopefully that's going to change here in a few more months, and I'll be here full time, hopefully. You know, I tell everybody I'm 42 years old, I'm going to retire. But when I say retire, that just means come here and work full time. And probably work 3 times as harder for the quarter amount of money, but I'll be doing what I love. So, God's blessed me in so many ways that given me the opportunity to chase my dream. And like I said, I could ramble on about this all day. But thank you guys. As we like to say here on the Homestead, keep on keeping on, my friends.